All right, well, thanks for joining us. We are about to get started, so if you know anybody else that was joining, maybe you can just give them the information after. All right, so we're here to show you a little bit about Lisa. This is Languages in Motion, which is us. It's our new interpreter services application. If anybody can't hear me, just send a quick chat and let us know. All right, so what is Lisa? Lisa is an online platform. It connects you to interpreters in over 200 languages in less than 60 seconds. You can do this a number of different ways. You can do it from the web browser, from a mobile app, as well as landline. The telephone access is 24/7 and on demand, which is fantastic for those last-minute requests. You can also schedule video or do on-demand video between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. We're going to get a little bit more depth into everything else, so I won't go too far now. So logging in. Lisa, it's like everything else that we use, you know, quick login. You're going to use your email, password. That's it. Nothing special. And we're going to show it to you a little bit later as well. But let's go a little bit more in depth with the types of interpreting. All right, so over the phone interpreting, which is something that most of our legal clients tend to use. This is perfect for, you know, making a call to schedule a client, or if an interpreter isn't accessible in a close area and you don't want to travel somebody in. If there's it's a weird time, maybe a client wants a meeting at 7 o'clock, you can try the on demand. So it's as simple as making the call. 35 seconds, you're connected to an interpreter. The interpreter provides the interpretation. You end the call, and that's it. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can do over the phone interpreting. You can do it from your mobile app, and you can also do it from your landline. The video remote interpreting operates the exact same way. This you can do from the web-based platform, or you can do it from your mobile app. On-site interpreting, you know, we're all familiar with that. We schedule an interpreter, interpreter shows up, we sign off, provide feedback. That all remains the same. One of the things that is different with this web browser is that you're able to order your on-site, your over the phone, your on-demand, all from one place. So we want to talk a little bit about on-demand calls, specifically using a landline, as it is a little bit different. You're going to call the number. You're going to enter your PIN, which will show you how to retrieve. You're just going to speak the language that you're looking for. You can dial a language service code as well, and you'll be connected with an interpreter over the phone in under 45 seconds. You can then three-way in your client. Or if the client's called you, you can put the client on hold, go through the steps, and merge the phone calls. All right, so I'm already logged in here, but as you can see, it's really clean, really easy to use. To my right is where I would do on-demand phone calls or scheduled phone calls from my laptop. This is best for video. We don't recommend using the mobile app, and we do recommend that you have a hardwired connection to ensure that your video is the best that it can be. Now, this interface is the exact same whether you're on the web browser or you're on your mobile phone. You're going to choose whether you want to make an audio or a video call. You're going to choose the language that you would like to make a call from and the language that you would like to make a call to. There we go. And then it's as simple as pressing the call button. You'll see here that I have legal as my industry. That's because when you open an account, you're going to specify what your default industry is. Should something change and you require an interpreter for a different purpose, you still have access to specialized interpreters in those other areas. Now your overview here is going to show you all your appointments, all your on-demand calls. It'll show you everything that you have scheduled upcoming. Should you want to make an appointment, you're going to click on the appointment screen here and create a new appointment. This can be used for in-person as well as scheduled phone and video. It's the same form that you're used to on our website. So once you've scheduled it, you're going to be able to see it here in your calendar. Your calendar has a month, day, week, tabular, a bunch of different views that you can use, very similar to, Google and all the things that we're already using. Your appointments show up. Should you want to make a change, let's say your client decides he can't arrive at 10 and he's going to be there at 10:30, you'll be able to make those changes by quickly editing your appointment. Should you want to send a note to the interpreter because maybe you need them to call a specific phone number and that phone number has changed, you could put this in here, send them a quick note. This is going to be the same view for whether it's in person, scheduled phone, scheduled video. Now, setting up your account and inviting other users at your firm is extremely easy. You go to your configuration, users, and you invite your team. They'll receive an email telling them they're invited, asking them to create a username and password. Once you've created those usernames and passwords, you can go download the app to your phone and you'll be able to sign in with the same credentials. Does anybody have any questions?
Question.
Oh.
So how does pricing work? How do you get billed for this?
All right, awesome. So pricing, some of you know, is per minute for over the phone and video, on demand, and scheduled. The in-person remains the same. It's a base cost that allows up to 3 hours of in-person interpreting. Now, when you're ready to set up an account, or after, I should say, after this webinar, we will send you an email. You'll get all of the details regarding pricing, how to create an account, how to manage an account, who you would contact. So to register for an account, you would go to our website and you will see services. You'll see our interpreting services application and you can get started. Once you've put all your information in, you are going to receive an email. Please check your spam because a lot of times it does go there. It's going to ask you to, as I mentioned, create a username, create a password. These invitations do expire after 24 hours. So if for some reason you didn't, receive the invitation in time or you weren't able to get to it in time, just let us know. We are able to resend it. Once you've done that, we will be applying a $50 credit to each attendee's account. Now, if you are multiple people at a firm, you do not need to have multiple accounts. It's actually best that you have one account so that you can track your firm's entire usage and keep things very simple. The really great thing about the app is that simplicity is what we're going for. We don't want you to have to be sending emails back and forth. Is your interpreter scheduled? Is your interpreter not scheduled? Here are the details, having to check in. We want it, you're going to put the appointment in. You're going to be able to go to your calendar. You're going to see as soon as it's scheduled, and that's it. It's one activity on your part. So if you're all on the same one, makes things a lot easier for you guys.
I have a question here about credentials. How are the interpreters qualified for the platform?
So all of the interpreters that we work with are vetted, are trained on the platform. Their credentials are confirmed. So whether they specialize in legal, medical, that is all confirmed on our end, their experience. Does that answer your question?
I think so.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? Oh, we have a question. So the question is, how many interpreters do you have, and do you have many in the Brooks, Alberta area? So we have hundreds and hundreds of interpreters. We do provide over 200 languages, so we work with over 1,700 interpreters. In Brooks, I can't give you an exact number.
There may be a couple there in Brooks, but I guess the big part of this is for those areas that don't have access to interpreters as easily as one of the larger city centers. We really recommend the video and phone service. That way, it allows you to access languages that are much more hard to come by, like maybe Sudanese, Arabic, or even Swahili. You never know what languages people need out in remote areas. In the event that we do have to bring somebody into a place like Brooks, we're always able to send them over via bus or plane or however they are able to get there. If it's something that needs to be done, we do have quite a few, as Valin mentioned, in Calgary and Edmonton as the main city centers. In fact, I think there's over 320 interpreters that are certified and registered here in the cities. And by the way, I'm Michael. Just so you know, I didn't actually get to introduce myself at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't give him a chance.
Yeah.
So, as I mentioned, oh, sorry. We're getting another question here. Are your interpreters certified by the court to attend during court appearances with permission of the court? Yes, we work with a number of court certified interpreters. Again, depending on your area, they could have to be sent in from a main city center. But, you know, if the court is okay with the video, then we also can provide that.
Yeah, all the interpreters have actually the Alberta certification for court, and they are permitted by Alberta courts to interpret on behalf of clients.
So just to summarize, as Michael mentioned, our interpreters are available over the phone, over video, and in person. A lot of the rural areas in Alberta, unfortunately, have the need to have interpreters travel in from Edmonton and Calgary. So that's why the video and phone is a great option for those situations that somebody has to travel. It's a great savings. It also can be really good for shorter appointments. You know, if you're only going to have a 15-minute appointment with a client, using the on-demand over the phone is going to be extremely less expensive than traveling an interpreter in and having to pay the base price for that interpreting. Do we have any other questions?
We have another one here. Is there a set fee for travel? For example, is it kilometers plus travel time? I guess I can answer that one.
Mm-hmm.
So there is, we do have, I believe the rate for traveling, if they're driving their own vehicle, is 60 cents per kilometer, and the interpreter is paid for their travel time. So the amount of time that they're driving or traveling, we usually bill at half of their hourly rate. Now we do have a price list that goes through all of these things that we can have sent through over to you, but I'll explain it for this in this case. So yeah, it is traveling plus travel time, and then of course if they're coming in via bus or plane or however they end up arriving to the destination, they're billed for that amount of time, and then of course the service time. In some instances, if it's the downtown center, they'll be billed for parking. But if there is an interpreter in your area, and obviously we do our very best to find an interpreter locally, if there is an interpreter in that area, then there will be no travel fees that apply. So if they're just driving within the city limits, then there's no travel fees. The only fee that would be incurred would be parking, if there is any. If it's free parking, or it's subsidized by the organization, then yeah, there would be no charge for that. So another question was, do you have a daily rate for longer needed services such as questioning, attendance, or is it only hourly?
So we actually have a few different rates. As well, we're able to work with firms to come up with some contract rates. Our rates do start as base price. We do have a daily price. If you book a certain amount of time, let's say you book a base price and you go over the allotted time, then you would be charged an hourly rate.
Yeah, and in some cases, for some of the out of town, it depends on how much time the interpreter is required and how far they are away from the center or where the services will be rendered. At times, there will be a day rate for the interpreter that's applied. We do our best to make sure that they are in and out in the time allotted. So if it's only in an hour-long trial or appointment, then we'll try to get them there and back in the same day to lower the cost as much as possible. In the event that it is a longer hearing or a longer questioning, then there would be a day rate. It would just be the basic fees for the day for that interpreter. So the question is, how much time in advance is required for a booking when a person is required to attend? So usually we'd like to have at least a week. It gives us enough time to find somebody. Longer than that is obviously ideal. However, we've been known to pull some magic, and we've had some appointments happen within a few hours of the request. Obviously, with out of town, it's a little bit difficult, but in this case, yeah, we'd like to have about a week. Now, we will mention that there are rush charges for requests made within 24 and 48 hours, respectively. So within 48 hours, there's a 25% additional fee, and within 24 hours, there's a 50% additional fee. So obviously, it means that we're quite, we're scrambling to make sure that we have somebody available. And if that's the case, though, we certainly recommend our on-demand video and phone, which there are no rush fees for. So if it's something, I mean, if it's a court case, then it's a little bit more difficult. But if it's a questioning, recommend that service. It can be much more affordable when you just pick up the phone and or the video and Skype in or video conference in or call in an interpreter. We definitely recommend that because you still get the same fantastic communication from the interpreter. They don't have that, of course, that ability to view documents and such and review documents, but at least it gives you that that ability to communicate. Now, I will mention, this is something that I'm going on a tangent here from your question, but I will mention that you are able to chat through the application on the desktop and over your phone, so you can actually send a chat while you're in the call, and you can say basically, interpreter, can you please read the following statement, and then copy paste it into the chat bar, and that will allow the interpreter to get that question or that statement immediately, and then instead of you saying something and then the interpreter saying another thing, back and forth, you can just have them read a script. So it really allows kind of a seamless communication on that side. For scheduled appointments, if you do want to schedule video and phone, even in person, you can upload documentation that allows you to actually share some of the information of the case that will allow an interpreter to prepare for it. And also, if you'd like them to read an affidavit or something like that, you can upload that document, and then that interpreter can read the affidavit to the client. So it really gives you that ability to almost have an in-person assignment. You know, we try our best to make it easy for you. So in the event that it is an existing appointment, something is happening, then we refer to the chat. But yeah, you can always prepare in advance by sending the documents. And I mean, this session here was only meant for just sort of a quick introduction, but we're willing to answer any questions, or you know, if you wanted to get started, we can kind of walk you through it as you go. Valin and I are happy to kind of be that go-to person for you if you have any questions related to a specific assignment. Something pops up and you're not sure how to proceed. Her and I can definitely, one of us at least, can jump on a phone call with you and walk you through it. If you'd like to get, you know, if you'd like to have a presentation for your entire team, we're happy to do that too.
Yeah, we do also have quite a bit of documentation that we can provide you once you have created an account. It walks you through every feature that we have. But again, as Michael mentioned, we do also have a training webinar that we can provide. It's quite a bit longer, takes about 40 minutes, depending on how many questions there are. And that's not because it's difficult, because as you can see, the program's very easy to use. It's just to make sure that you have all those ins and outs and those one-off situations, you're prepared for them. Is there any other questions? All right. I'm not seeing anything come up. So I guess in summary, we'll just give you kind of sum everything that we talked about today up. So Languages in Motion, we've been providing in-person interpreting for over 8 years. Our head office is located in Calgary, and we've been serving all of Alberta in that time. Just so you're aware, we do also provide translations, both professional and certified. So we work with quite a few of the law firms, as well as most registries in Alberta, providing that certified translation piece. Now, again, the new application that we've released allows you to do phone, video, and in-person interpreting, whether that be scheduled or on demand. The telephone is 24/7 from anywhere in the world, actually. So that's a great option for those last-minute appointments. You can use your landline in your office. If somebody walks into your office and they don't speak English well, you know, you can jump on a phone call that way. If somebody calls in, you can quickly three-way in an interpreter. As Michael mentioned, the video is available for court interpreting or the in-person option as well. I think that pretty much summarizes everything that we wanted to let you guys know. Again, if there's any questions, I'm gonna pull my email back up here. This is my direct email, as well as my direct contact number here. Oh, sorry guys. You can also reach Michael on that number. We've included the link for you to go to register for an account, but we will send out an email after this, just summarizing everything, letting you know where to go, and giving you our direct contact information. We will let you guys go. I know that it's the middle of your day and you're busy and you probably want to have lunch, or maybe you had your lunch while listening to us. If that's the case, thank you for giving us your lunch break. Otherwise, we'll talk to you after.
Thank you so much for coming, and we look forward to chatting with you guys soon.
Hope everybody has a great day.
Bye for now.